Next, though, he came ever so close to winning a Dáil seat in the 2024 general election, and he's back to try again. This is Gerry The Monk Hutch. He's planning to throw his name into the hat to contest the upcoming Dublin Central by-election. This is the seat vacated by Paschal Donohoe. Craig Hughes is political editor with the Irish Daily Mail. He's here with me in the studio, and Nicola Tallant is on the line, the host of the Crime World podcast. Craig, I'll start with you because there was a bit of we had a clip of it earlier on. Gerry Hutch was at this launch of Rex Ryan's play about him, the one-man show in The Ambassador. He was there for the opening night last night, and you went along. So what happened?
Yes, this is the press event to kind of tee up the run of the show, and I was surprised to get an invite and being told that the monk would be there. He's usually very adverse to talking to the media. And when he came in, the first thing I asked him, I said, "Well, do you plan to run in the by-election?" And he said, "I do." We'd reported that last year from people close to him, but it's the first time he said it himself that he plans to go again. Last time around, his big issue was transfers. He polled over 3,000 first preference votes. For most other candidates in a general election, they would go over the line with that number in that constituency, but he wasn't transfer friendly. He said he's a plan for that this time around. And I think it was interesting to look at the figures from the presidential election, because the number of spoiled votes who you would associate with a kind of a anti-establishment candidate like Gerry Hutch actually increased to 15%. You'd also have to expect that his number of first preference votes will rise a bit, and also local elections or secondary elections, so turnout is lower. So while he is still a long shot, I don't think he can be ruled out entirely. Even if he got to 30% of first preference votes, he would still have a challenge by not having, if he wasn't picking up on transfers elsewhere. But he was, as usual, he was box office. I asked him if he hoped to get any votes from former supporters of former Sinn Féin councillor Jonathan Dowdall, who of course is now in the witness protection programme after giving evidence against him in that special criminal court trial that he was acquitted of murder of. He said he didn't want to talk about Jonathan Dowdall. I asked him, was it safe for Mr. Dowdall to come back? He said he wasn't going to do anything to him, but he said Karma might take care of that.
Karma,
I beg your pardon.
Oh, Karma.
Yeah.
Karma. Now, Nicola, you did that famous interview with Gerry Hutch on your podcast in the lead up to the 2024 general election. Are you surprised that he's running again?
I'm not surprised he's running again. I think he is the ultimate anarchist, and it's his way really of giving two fingers to the state. He also, if you remember the last time, just before he had it was rumoured that he was going to go for election, and the next thing he was arrested in Lanzarote. He's still sort of before the courts there, although not yet charged in relation to a money laundering investigation. And he would have believed that was sort of conspiracy, that, that was orchestrated so as he was denied the ability to run for election. He actually got bail and came back to do it. So he does have this sort of belief that the state is out to get him. And, that he is going to put it up to them.
But he hasn't been convicted of a crime for 40 years, and he would argue that he has the same right as the next man to run. But are you clear from your conversations with him, Nicola, why he wants to be a TD?
Well, I'm actually really glad Craig is there to talk to you about the politics and the, the counts and what his chances are of getting elected between the transfer votes and all the rest of it, because politics is not my gig. When I interviewed Gerry Hutch, it was an opportunity for me to get first-hand account from him about those very incredibly significant years for the last 10 years from the Regency and what has happened in between. The politics, I felt, and, the interview is still there for anybody who wants to watch it. I'm not sure he had much politics. He didn't really have much depth when it came to that. So, I'm not actually clear why he wants to be a politician, other than it is a course that has been run before in with various sort of high profile criminals. That chance to make it in politics, I suppose, gives a power, and it does give the, if you are of that nature, that anarchist nature, it must feel very, powerful to get elected and to run.
Well, Craig, did you get a sense from what you saw last night why Gerry Hutch would want to be a member of Dáil Éireann?
Well, there's two things. First of all, I asked him about his policies. I said, what are you standing for, Gerry? What do you think about immigration, for example? And he said, "Oh, I'm not going to make any promises that I can't keep. I need to get in there first, and then I'll tell you what I'm about." Which I think is quite a unusual political strategy. But there is, of course, the constitutional protection that he would be afforded if he, as is afforded to every member of Parliament, if he was elected, in that he would not be able to be stopped by the Gardaí on his way to Leinster House. That is a constitutional protection that is there. I asked Minister for Justice Jim McCallaghan about this previously. He said there's no plans to change the constitution, of course, which would require a referendum. But look, that is something that is there in the constitution, whereby if you are on your way to Leinster House as a member of the Parliament, you
You
cannot
can't
be
be
stopped.
stopped. Who else is running? Who's confirmed to run in Dublin Central?
Yeah, well, I think the favourite is the Social Democrats, Daniel Ennis, at the moment, but a wide field. I mean, the Sinn Féin selection will be very interesting. The Sunday Times reported that they're planning to run Gillian Sherratt. Of course, she is the mother of Harvey Morrison Sherratt. But there's still a convention to go there. They also have Seamus McGrattan there, and of course their other councillor Janice Boylan, who of course is very dissatisfied with the party after not being put on the ticket previously. So there is a potential there for conflict within Sinn Féin over the selection process. When it comes to Fine Gael, you have the current Lord Mayor Ray McAdam hoping to very close, of course, to former Minister for Finance Paschal Donohoe, who departed the seat, which of course triggered this by-election. Labour, I understand, are the two candidates have put themselves forward. There's a convention next month. The Green Party, you're looking at Janet Horner, very long out chance, and of course then Gerry Hutch as well. We do know finally that Mary Fitzpatrick, the Fianna Fáil senator, won't be running. We reported that today in the Irish Daily Mail. She was expected to be their candidate, so interesting to see who Fianna Fáil fields there in that
Okay.
constituency.
So, and Nicola, back to you on this, because I'm just interested in the response and the reaction to that Gerry Hutch interview when it ran. And it was a huge story at the time, but you'll have a sense of the reaction and response that you got to it, because there are those in Dublin Central, and we know this from the last campaign in 2024, who see Gerry Hutch as a community man, as a community activist. Did you get the sense in the response that you got to that interview that he has much support in the area?
Well, I mean, he got he got the vote, didn't he? He got over 3,000 first preference votes in that area, which was extraordinary. I think what happened was he went out there. It was unique at the time. This isn't unique because he's going a second time, and do things go as well a second time round? I wouldn't trust they do. The reaction from the general public was really sort of positive, I think, for people hearing what he had to say, on almost a voyeurism thing to that. And they were also fascinated by his voice, to hear it, to see him talking so openly about especially some of the gangland activity that had gone on since the Regency Hotel. I think the response from politicians and those interested in it was to try and sort of ignore him as he was going for election. That's not going to happen this time round. I think the knives will be out for him, because there was a feeling, I think, in the general establishment that they didn't really want to recognise that he was running. Nobody seemed to believe that he was going to get the support he did. So it's going to have to be taken far more seriously this time by ourselves in I suppose the mainstream media, as it's called nowadays.
Will you be interviewing him again if he does run, as he says he will?
Well, I mean, I have interviewed him, to be honest with you, and I don't want to particularly go over that ground again. For me, it was a crime. It was an interview centred on crime and criminality, and that what had been a seismic moment for the in Irish criminal history.
Whereas now it's about the politics, right? If he goes again.
Yeah, it is. And what's interesting, actually, at the time, so the last election, he did that interview and he did nothing else. And I was told at the time that he was advised to keep his mouth shut afterwards, because he'd come out on a high, and anything else was going to deplete that, which was pretty good political advice, wasn't it, when you think about it? So this time round, his strategy and his publicity strategy for me will be interesting. What is he going to do? Obviously, he's come out as this play is about to be launched next week, which is excellent. Actually, I went to see it in the Glass Mask Theatre, and Rex Ryan has a brilliant portrayal of it. I think it's something that's not glamorizing him. You know, you have moments of being empathetic towards the character, and then you kind of, he will, you know, he'll make him very aggressive, and you kind of realize what you're watching. But I mean, this is obviously a moment for him to sort of come out here and say, yes, I'm going for it. So what's he going to do next? Will he do interviews? Will he be asked for interviews, or will he do his own publicity through social media?
I'm sure he will be asked for interviews by you, Craig, and plenty others, including ourselves too. We'll leave that one there, but thank you, Craig Hughes, political editor from the Irish Daily Mail, for coming in, and Nicola Tallant, who you heard there too.